Excuse me? Did you just ask what was BGK Network for? I'm glad that you asked. Let me get the number up because I know you're going to call. So, BGK was founded by Michael. What happened to the number? The number's at the top of the screen now. But anyway, get the number. As I was saying, BGK Network was founded by... It's at the bottom of the screen. Really? Really? Okay. I'm sorry for calling you Michael. Apostle, just put me back where I can talk. Just put me back, please. Wow, some people are so sensitive, right? But seriously, what you just saw was a sample of what Apostle Michael Dulaney and Evangelist Tiffany can do through virtual ministry with BGK Network. They founded BGK to help people like you and myself to put the gospel out around the world. It's a great opportunity. I do encourage you to call the number. It's more affordable than you think. Give them a call. I did.
And welcome to another edition of Let's Talk About Marriage and the Family. I am so happy to have you to be present, to engage with us as we talk about marriage and family issues. And I'm not going to do a lot of introduction. You all know who I am. You know my number. You can contact me at rjjoseph920 at gmail.com. You know the phone number. I would appreciate it if you give me a phone call. It's always good to know that there are viewers and people that are watching our presentation. So I have such an interesting edition for you. I'll put it like that. We recently had Curtisha and Frank Grant on, husband and wife. And welcome, Curtisha, and the young man sitting next to you. Who is that?
This is Kiari Grant, who is the recipient of my left kidney.
All right.
Also my son.
Son. Okay, so this is the mom, everyone, who has given life to her son literally 2 times. Birth, and then the match for the kidney. And so at our last presentation, Frank and Curtisha talked about the pain of his wife being, having to have the surgery. But then he also talked about the pain of if she was not going to be able to have the surgery, what was going to happen to their son. I think I got a little emotional and broke down and almost started crying on the presentation. I'm going to let you tell us what the process was when you talked with the doctors and found out that you were a match.
It was probably the most relieving news that we had received in the past 10 months. So from the time we found out April until the time he was transplanted the following February was a course of about 10 months.
Okay.
And it was relief. You know, that year before, which was 2017, all I wanted was him to have a kidney. They would say, Mom, what do you want for Mother's Day? And I said, you to have a kidney.
That's what she said.
What do you want for your birthday?
I just want you to get a kidney.
What do you want for Christmas, Mom?
You to have a kidney.
That's all I wanted. I just wanted him to have a kidney. I didn't know that God was going to use my body as the instrument to produce that gift.
Okay.
As most parents, and I can speak for most parents, I'm hoping that when you find out your child is in need and he needs something that a human body can offer, you avail yourself to be the first option. And both his dad and I, my husband and I, whatever we could do to get him the healing that he need without the supernatural part, that's on God. But
Mhm.
whatever we can do naturally, physically, financially, we signed up. We stopped our life to care for him. And when the doctor said that I was a match, I mean, I don't think I could talk for days. I cried literally for days.
Well, Kiari, I know your dad said something on the presentation when he was on, and he said you were never down. You were always so positive. You were keeping everyone else encouraged. Talk about that. How was that? How old were you at that particular time?
About 18 years old. And, I'm just reminded of Isaiah 41:10, be not afraid. I am with you. Like God is by my side. And because I stood by, be not afraid. Now, I will be honest, in the beginning, it was some fearful time. And the reason it was fearful because you got this young individual like myself. You haven't seen nobody in your life been through this. And now you're hearing you're going to need to have a transplant one day. And more likely, you're also going to have to go on dialysis. Again, what is that? What is that? So the dynamic, it was a little bit scary in the beginning, but to answer your question, the reason I begin to have the faith so much is because my surrounding with the village. You have to surround yourself around like-minded people. Be discerning to
Yes.
see who you need to have around you. But those things also is what, from what my dad say, it just stirred me. It was like, okay, keep going. It's a challenging day, but keep going. You know what? I don't really like today, but you know what? You just have to find peace within yourself.
Yeah.
It's some other people around you that sometimes they may not be at the same vein how you're feeling, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna let that bother me. I'm
Yes,
not gonna let
yes.
that stop me. So I kept moving. So I'm glad my dad said that, but that's why.
And we gave him permission to be scared. We gave him permission to be angry. We
Mhm.
gave him permission to be curious, to be concerned, to ask questions. I wanted to dismantle every lie that
Yeah.
I felt the enemy wanted to torment him with. And the biggest concern was, what if my kidney goes out? The doctor keeps saying your kidney function is dropping. Your kidney might go out. Mom, what does that mean? Well, that means my body will turn on me. Will it turn on me when I'm driving? Will it turn on me when I'm at work? There are so many uncertainties that we honestly couldn't answer. But what we wanted him to know is to be not dismayed,
Yeah.
that God is with you. Our family scripture was
Mark 11.
Mark 11:22. And what does that say?
Faith in God.
That's all. Jesus answered, have faith in God.
Yes.
And our faith was in nothing else but God. We don't have the answers, but we serve a God that does. And if you are afraid, and you have every right to be afraid, let's talk about the fear. What is your biggest fear? Mom, I don't want to die. And mom doesn't want you to die either.
Oh.
This sickness is not unto death. We had real conversations, Dr. Mom.
Yes.
Real
Yes.
I
conversations.
remember like it was yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Real conversations. We took him to an attorney to get his will drawn up. He was only 19 years old, but we wanted him to know that this is how this is done. Advanced care planning with any medical procedure is done. We're not bringing you here because we think you're going to die. We're bringing you here because you're having a procedure and you need to have advanced directives done.
Yes.
That's what you need done. We used everything as a teaching moment.
No, I've never heard before.
Yeah.
But I said, preparing me for the future.
Yes.
Prepare me for the future. Now, I want the viewing audience to know you're not wearing your ugly Christmas shirts. Tell us about what those shirts are.
Yeah, so Keys Kidney is a 501c3 charitable foundation that God has blessed us with. And because of, if you kind of hear it, it's Keys Kidney. So my nickname is Key. And I was like, you know what? I had a kidney. So we put those together and it's Keys Kidney. And Keys Kidney, you know, we bring purpose to others. We help people with transportation. We also support people that are struggling with like different kidney diagnosis, you
Okay.
know. So it's just, and you got to understand, even though we're talking about kidney, you can also put it in your perspective of any type of health issue.
Yes.
And I'm gonna let my mom continue a little bit more because truth be told, God gave our family this. And yes, I'm the CEO of it and everything, and you are the chief. Come on, come on, come on.
Chief executive officer.
Okay. Yeah,
Chief financial officer.
I know. I gotta let that be
Chief
known.
kind of officer.
Yeah, I gotta let that be known. But yeah, this my mama right here, my twin too.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
with that being
So then
said,
the white portion, explain the shirt. The white portion is your kidney. Okay.
yes.
And
So the white portion is the kidney. Right here is the key. And then the K with keys, kidney. And as you remember the scripture, Mark 11:22, have faith in God, Jesus answered. And we live by faith plus works equals manifestation. And still to this day,
okay, that's absolutely awesome. So the direction was that we are not approaching this with sadness. We have to approach this with wisdom.
Yes.
The principal thing, let's do this with wisdom, because with wisdom, we're going to be able to make some dynamic accomplishments. Now, Key, I love him because of so many wonderful things that he has embraced me as a, I guess, what would you call me, a spiritual granny? So I'm Dr. Granny. I'm not Dr. Mom, I'm Dr. Granny, which I'm so excited about because he's so positive. But he wanted you to share some more, Kertisha. She's an elder at the Potter's House in Fort Worth. We all knew about the transplant. We were all praying about the transplant. In fact, the Sunday, I think, before the transplant, there was an altar call, and Pastor Winfield, the campus pastor at Potter's House Fort Worth, called for the congregation to pray for you, and so we that's where I started the journey on the kidney transplant. I'm always wanting to hear, almost week to week, coming to church to hear the word, but to hear what was going on with you all as a family. So it's the day of the transplant. What does that day look like?
You know, we were prepared, and it was a day of peace. We had high anticipation. We had lots of support. Oddly enough, we were not nervous. We just wanted to make sure that everything flowed according to what the medical team had told us. We wanted to make sure that our family was stationed and understood what the day was going to look like. We wanted everybody to know it was going to be a long day. And because we were both in the hospital, they kind of had to divide and conquer, because we were in different parts of the hospital. There was a team with him, there were people with me, and then they rotated so they can come see me, see him. So the morning of, it was a lot of moving pieces, but it was organized chaos, so to speak. We had family meetings leading up to that point. We had about 20 family and friends that flew in, not including our support here. So we needed to let them know what that day was going to look like. At the time, we had a 12-year-old that needed to go back and forth to school. We needed help with that. My husband needed support because he was taking care of both of us. It was a hot-willed machine.
Yes.
We were very organized. So the day of surgery, we were exhausted. You know, we didn't sleep much the night before. So I was looking forward to anesthesia just to go to sleep.
Yes.
But it was organized, and we were hopeful, and we wanted people in the room that were people of faith. We didn't want to be introduced to other people's fears. We didn't want a lot of we personally did not want that around us. We needed
Yes.
people to join our faith, come into alliance with what we knew what God was doing. And I mentioned on the previous segment with my husband, sometimes I'm prepared a little bit to a fault for most people because I wasn't prepared just to get my organ. I was prepared to go to heaven if I didn't make it out of that surgery.
Yes.
That's how he's shaking his head because we had conversations about it. We talked about if I lived or died. We talked about him not feeling guilty if something happened. We just had a lot of conversations. No stone was left unturned.
Yeah.
So we went into that surgery knowing we had victory. It was just a matter of now the kidney manifesting. We knew he was healed when he was diagnosed, but we were just walking through manifestation. So we went in on February 13th. And it was called my labor of love. It was the day before Valentine's Day. That was my love gift. I got the privilege of laboring with love.
Okay, the labor at birth and now the labor of love.
Labor of love. And so it was joyful. We did not go in anxious, and we went in victorious, excited to manifest that kidney.
Okay, and so to the viewing audience of Let's Talk About Marriage and the Family, I hope that you're understanding that this portrays a question that I recently read that someone had written. It said, do you know of God or do you know God? And the difference is that so many people in the church, so many people that could have been in the room may have only known of God, but did not know God, as you were just demonstrating. When you know God, there's this confidence that He has said it and He's going to do it. And for that, I can thank Him that my prayers are heard and answered and moving forward, So I just think that there's an awesome testimony that comes out of this. I want your mom to tell us about the recent group that she has been participating with in making a film about people that give a donation, that make a donation. And then, Kiari, I want you to tell us and pull out everything that's telling us about your foundation, okay? So, Mom, it's on your court. What did you recently see?
I had the honor. I received an invitation to be a part of a cast, an all living organ donor cast, to film a movie. It's a documentary that's called Abundant. And Abundant are real life stories of extreme altruism. And again, every cast person in this film, they're altruistic. And the way that we were able to demonstrate our altruism was by way of living organ donation. Now, I am the only cast member that donated to a son. Most of them, it was 12 of us, and 10 of them donated anonymously. So they don't even know who their recipients are. And one young lady donated to a best friend. So I didn't just donate to a family member, I donated to my son. And so the story just resonated on the hearts of so many people. You couldn't have told me when I gave birth to him 26 years ago that he would become ill. I mean, he had never been sick. I mean, regular stuff, a fever, right? A baby, maybe an ear infection or two, but never anything that cost his life. And a kidney is a major life organ. You need it to live. So that film is going to be released in 2024 by August, somewhere around August in 2024. We are still tying up some loose ends. Donald Griswold is the producer, writer of that, gifted, who had a heart and a passion to share the stories of living organ donors. And I'm forever grateful to be a part of that. We have had the privilege of walking with families who find themselves in the throes of kidney. And again, Kiari, as he said, is that we're not just kidney ambassadors. Yes, we are. We're healing ambassadors. And so people know us mostly when you think of kidney, you think of the Grants, but we've had the privilege of walking with people through breast cancer and walking with people through heart failure and diabetes. And it's
Yes.
not just kidney, but we want to be the face of healthy living.
Yes,
We want
yes.
to be the catalyst for victory. We want to be known for people that live out loud their faith. We live our faith out loud
Oh,
and we practice what we preach. Either this word of God works or it doesn't. Like we don't have time to waste time. And we are crazy enough to believe that the God we read about is alive and breathing in our life. And how we demonstrate that is to implement practical application of what we know to do by way of God's word, the Bible,
yes.
and it gives us peace. It seals the deal. It's the
Yes.
solution.
Yes. And you know, for so many people, they are afraid of transplant, but are you afraid to give blood? You know, for years I was a regular blood donor. You know, and when I lived in Chicago, you know, every 6 months I was going to give blood. And because I felt like that was where I could give. Some people give platelets. And those are special blood cells that are coming out of individuals' bone marrow. We're talking about heart transplants. We're talking about kidney. We're talking about liver. So there are so many areas that we are not exposed to and don't really understand. The doctor Hale, Dr. Hale was the first African American doctor to do open heart surgery. And he prompted Dr. Christian Bernard from South Africa to want to do the first heart transplant. If we can do an open heart. So the first person to do an open heart surgery was a Black doctor out of Chicago, Illinois. But that prompting, you know, we start from somewhere. And so we start here now today to bring light to transplanting and the benefits that it can have. I'm an organ donor, and one of the things that I want people to understand, becoming an organ donor, putting that on your driver's license. But I did learn something the night of the play, you know, the production, that basically I will have to be in the hospital for them to harvest my organs for any type of donation. My organs are also old. They'll probably say we don't need those old, you know, blow on those kidneys and they'll fall apart. But you learn something. So even if you and you know, if you have it on your driver's license, find out what your particular state requires for you to be an organ donor at your death. Find out what is required if you're going to donate your body for medical science, so people can learn from your body. There are students and doctors and researchers that really need to learn from your body, and you don't have to be sick for them to learn from your body. You can be ever so healthy. Kiari, tell us about the foundation. You're a 501c3. Tell us about some of the products and the books and everything that you're doing.
Yes. So some of the things we have, well, first of all, keyskidney.com. That's where you can find any information, also any type of booking for a speaking engagement. Also, I have a magazine also available.
All right, that's your own magazine.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Recipes and everything.
Oh, well, yeah, mainly because part of my part of our story is one of the challenging things was that it was a transition of eating anything to now eating very minimum. And it wasn't me, it was the whole household, myself, my sister, my mom, and my dad. So they said, if Kiari's doing it, we're all together gonna do it.
And
so
that's why it says Team Grant.
Yes.
The Grants are a team. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
If he can't have cantaloupe, nobody eats
Lord.
cantaloupe.
Lord. Yeah. No, it was definitely something different.
Yeah.
But I think what encouraged me to, because it was challenging. I mean,
Yes.
like I love seafood, and we're all from most of us are from Jacksonville, Florida. And with that being said, it was like with you eating, just a little something, catfish, all the salt and everything, whatever. Now I'm in the process, no salt at all. All right, God. Well, I'm gonna go through the process. So
Yeah.
with that, I like that I have the magazine give you different type of recipes, give you different type of things you can do out and about and everything.
Put that magazine up again. So, and it's KY apostrophe S Keys Kidney. All right. And it's keys.com, right?
KeysKidney.com.
KeysKidney.com. All right. And I want my viewing audience to go on that website to contact. See, Kiari, that's his real name, Grant. And that's a beautiful picture of him, KK. Beautiful picture, and it's a beautiful magazine. I want you to understand that out of what happened, wonderful things for others to participate in came about. So what else do you have over there?
Well, you know what? This is thing that I had throughout my testimony to keep me going. So this was a little gift. It's a cup.
All
You know,
right.
this was me when I first got diagnosed. Just little things also, right? Another thing I believe by, if anybody haven't, whatever you're going through right now, make collages, make stories. Our thing was diagnosis to deliverance. So
Okay.
all throughout here are pictures of my whole testimony. Now that was the first part. That was, just the very first part of my, because I also went on dialysis. Or we opened diagnosis to deliverance part two.
Okay.
This
All right.
also shows the process of me going on dialysis and then the transplant manifestation. So I just believe in stories and testimonies, and definitely capturing your moment of your story, like for real.
All right. Okay. Give us that website again.
Yes, it is www.keyskidney.com.
All right, okay. For final remarks, what would each of you like to say? Kind of wrapping up, maybe a minute, 30 seconds each. What would you like to say to the viewing audience?
I want people to know that there is hope. My prayer is that whoever sees this, no matter what they're going through, that we represent hope. We represent victory. And just as we went through and came out, that whatever they're going through, there is an out. God is with you.
God is with you. Key?
I want you to understand that you're not in it alone. There are days you're going to feel like you're lonely. There are days that you're going to feel like, I just don't have nobody to talk to. If you keep on praying, there is somebody that you don't even feel that is coming your way. And I have a watch right here. When I put this on, it's time. It's going to be a designated time that God is going to bring somebody in your life. You may feel like you just don't want to move out of that place. You feel like you just are just stuck. But God said that he would never leave you nor forsake you. So just hold fast. Hold fast.
Now, hold on.
Hold on too. Hold on too.
Hold
and
on.
understand that there is a plan that God has for you. So just remember that little something. Yes.
All right, okay. Thank you so much for being my guest on Let's Talk About Marriage and the Family. To Team Grant, thank you so much. Now, Kiari will be coming back. He is actually going to be coming back a little while longer, not immediately, but he's going to come along with the part of his life that he would like to share with you. Let's talk about marriage and the family audience, about something that has really been spectacular and we're so excited about. So I really want you to stay tuned, not the next presentation, but probably in about a month, you'll be seeing Kiari, and he will not be sitting there next to his mom. I'm Dr. Ramona Joseph.
I'm gonna miss that.
I'm Dr. Ramona Joseph, and this has been another edition of Let's Talk About Marriage and the Family. Give me that phone call. Check out the website. We love you so much with the love of Christ. Thank you, Team Grant. God bless.